Welcome to Stockradar Stocks on the Move for another week. Today's date is the 2nd of October 2025. My name is Richard Lee and I manage the stockradar.com.au website for you. So 2nd of the 10th, 25 into October, heading into the final exams for my son, my final child at the end of school, which is fantastic. So looking forward to some fun next year. And we've got some nice cold weather still here in Melbourne. We've got a 15 today, going to be 28 on Sunday. Good old Melbourne weather. Crazy times, but we have nothing more crazy than the metals market at the moment. Metals mania, I'm always very careful with the metals market. I tend to take the safety of the industrials a lot of the time, but sometimes you've got that swing happening. And at the moment, we've got the metals markets going. We've got gold stocks running on really well, leaders and miners. We've got some rare earth stocks doing well. We've got some of the minnows doing well. The biggies, the Fortescues, BHPs, rares are struggling a bit under the iron ore pressure, but we still have a wave of stocks to catch in this metal sector. I just want to show you some of the stocks that I've covered over the last few weeks, few months, some where we've caught and why we've caught them and where they might be going in the future. And we're always looking for the next wave. So but remember, it's always important to, when you get those signals, to follow them. Don't ponder, don't wait, don't think. You got your trade plan. You got your trade plan set. So make sure you follow it and use it. Okay, so we're going to first get into today is the trend intensity ratings. And it's pretty well swamped with metals at the moment. So we've got, of course, Evolution at the top, Ramelius, Iluka has a new one come in, Sandfire's doing well, Linus is doing incredibly well, AP Eagers, now I know that's got suspended, it's had a little buy in Canada at the moment, so that'll be an interesting one to see when it comes back on listing. It's been running along really well. Mineral Resources starting to move again. Newmont's been a killer. NST's come back in, and Genesis is also doing well. So that's the top 10 there. Again, mainly concentrated on the metal sector at the moment. Our stock pick count is down 3 this week. So we actually lost 4 stocks last week, and we gained 1. So that's an interesting one for you to have a look at on the trading centre this week, see which ones came out and which one did come in there. So that's the stock pick count. The portfolios are all pretty full at the moment and running along quite nicely, as the market is generally. We're going to look at the indices in a second. They're doing well. So actually, if we'll go straight to the indices now, in fact. So we go straight to the Dow. And not a lot has changed for a long time. We don't want to get complacent with what's happening here, because it's quite important to be keep on your toes and be wary. But the Dow Jones is making new high and volume, and the S&P and Nasdaq, the broader ones, are probably even just showing better signs. Really strong, this Nasdaq. Volume's been fantastic, momentum's been good. So, and this has had a huge rise. Okay, so at some stage we're going to have some sort of correction here. So be careful. Don't get complacent. Keep monitoring where your stops are and things like that. But for the moment, the techie bubble is still running. Then we've got the S&P, which is also making new highs at the moment. Killing it at the top there. So we saw the break there, and it's just been edging higher and higher and higher and keeping going. Volume keep going. So it's been a nice steady move higher. And our market, well, we've just come off a little bit at the top there, a little bit of pressure on some of our leading stocks there, but generally it still looks okay from this rally that we still started back in April this year. So it's been a pretty powerful move since then, and we don't mind a bit of a pullback anyway, because it just keeps things solidified a little bit. Okay, so that's the indices there. They're all okay at the moment. And again, our commodities, not much change there. The gold is still making the highs there. I think the shutdown in America is pushing this higher again. There always seems to be a reason for it, but we've got great volume here in gold. So, who knows where it's going to go, but for the moment, it still looks fine. High highs, high lows, trending up, volume, momentum, all those things are there. So it's still going high. So it has been an amazing move, and you also see silver's been doing pretty well also. Then we go to copper, not such a good one, but it is always an interesting one, copper, to follow. It's recovering a bit from that fall off the cliff there, but not a lot of volume there, not a lot of interest in copper at the moment. So, and Brent crude's the same sort of thing. So you'd think something has to happen at some stage, because these things don't stay boring for too long. And the crude has just been wafting around just under about $70 for quite a few weeks there. A little blip down, a little blip up, but really not much happening there. Still overall in a downtrend, but we do have a bit of volume appearing down here, which is a good sign. It's two-way two-way volume, which means it's not only selling, but there's also buying. So maybe we've got some sort of bottom occurring around here at S1, but we need some upside breaks to suggest we're going to get any moves higher, back up towards R1 possibly. So for the moment, that doesn't really look like it's on the card as an imminent thing. Okay, so now we're going to get to some stocks. And we're going to go through the metals ones today. I've got my special t-shirt on today, Catch the Wave. You know, I like the wave analogy. We catch the break of a wave, we ride it in until it gets all the way in and it starts to ebb out again, and that's when our stop goes off and tells us to get out. So it's a fairly natural phenomenon. Momentum swings are fairly natural phenomenons. So that's what we try and do. So some of these stocks like Evolution, they've had a run, they've had a pullback, they're now having another run. So we can see here again Evolution, which was probably around about $1 back in October 22. It's now nearly $11. So we've had a pretty good run up in this period of time. We had a great run up during 2024. It's had a bit of a correction back there, but it's now back on its bike and making new highs again. So I'm always buying new highs. That's the trigger for these moves. And again, Evolution has a trend intensity rating of 10 there. So it's all looking nice there. Everything's positive. High highs, high lows, above the moving average. Volume is good. And momentum is back. So we can see the little pause there, bit of selling came in, bit of momentum went out, our stop went off, took us out, we locked in our profit there, but we're now back on a new high there. And again, we don't know where it's going to go. We've seen the gold price, it looks fantastic. So, until we're told otherwise, we just run with these ones at the moment. There's really no choice. It's a fairly simple process that we follow. Okay, so that's Evolution. The other one, of course, is the big leader in the gold sector, which is since it's been renamed Newmont. It's done pretty well. We had one good trend back here in 2024, a correction phase, and then we're back onto new highs again here. Stop held. We're now running up there. This has gone now from around about 77 in May to be up around 128, a massive move. Massive move. So, and a fairly simple one to be on, not really that complicated. You can see that the pullbacks are very far and few between. It's just gone up and up and up and up. So we just follow this with our stop loss and continue going. And all the underlying things we look at are giving it a trend intensity rating of 10. So the volume's a bit hard to see if we've got a bit of a spike there, but if I just squeeze this up a little bit, you can see some nice steady volume. Has been going through recently for most part of this move, along with the momentum, which has been very, very steadily rising, which means it's been increasing its speed of ascent, which is pretty amazing in itself. So that's Newmont, a great signal and a great run and a great profit there. Okay, Sandfire, which is a little bit different, but again, we see how these corrective phases resolve themselves at some stage. And, these 3 highs here kept resisting this. The sellers kept resisting this price, but eventually when we've got a clear break, we're now seeing the sellers have really now backed off and the buyers have taken control of this one. So again, we're continuing what was a lengthy uptrend for Sandfire from back around October 2022. It got to its highs, it fiddled around here for a while, was quite frustrating. And this is what happens, you can't, every chart looks a bit different, or every chart behaves a bit differently. It's a matter of having your strategy set and running with it and making sure you follow it. So not worrying too much about the price, what it's doing, just following what the action's saying to you and what your signals are saying. So with this one here, we did get stopped out of this one on a new high here, and we had a break there, so that was a failure, no problem. Then it's now got a new break here. This time we're on board this one quite well, and it's rating 10, and it's starting to move very, very nicely. Okay, and we've got some good volume through here, fairly healthy volume. Momentum is very good. So, we really don't know where these moves will take us to. We just follow them with our stop loss, and that's how we maximise our returns on this situation, because we are able to do this at the moment with the metals because they are running really, really well and giving some great signals and some great trend. Okay, then we go, now these are all leading stocks. These are all stocks in the top 100, and my last one in the top 100, because these are all portfolio stocks that I run. And so Lynas Rare Earths is actually in the portfolio. It's one of the 5 stocks in the 5 stock, and it's been running really well since April 25. Okay, so that's not that long ago really, only a few months ago. But we've gone from $7.80 to up around $17, but probably a $10 rise. And again, these things happen all the time. You know, it's not as if I'm showing you something that's rare and uncommon. So it's a matter of knowing what to do and how to play these things, because when trends occur, they move, and they usually exceed what we expect them to exceed. They exceed all fundamental metrics, all sorts of things, because humans drive these trends, momentum drives these trends, and we're excitable characters, and we'd like to see things happen. But when it cracks, we've got to be careful that we're not hanging around too long. Okay, so I've got my stop set in place for liners. You can see where I entered. You can see where my stop is. You can see exactly what I'm doing and how I'm behaving, and it's not a complicated thing. It's a very simple thing to do. My only concern now is looking at my stop loss. Every Friday I come to my Friday's close. I see where my Friday's close is. I see where the stop is. If the price has risen, I'll raise my stop. If it hasn't, I'll keep my stop the same. If it's gone below my stop, I will sell it. It's one of those three outcomes that I will look at each Friday or each weekend when I look at all these stocks. So for Linus, this week it's gone up again. The stock may well go up. We'll have to wait till Friday to find out, or Monday when I release the trend intensity report, or Sunday night. Okay, so Linus has been a great trend, and one that we can all follow easily, and make sure we maximise our returns on these ones. So that's Linus. The next one I want to go to, there's been a couple here that are perhaps more in the early stages of their trend. I've shown you a few there with Newmont, Sandfire, Linus. They're all fairly well entrenched in their trends. But there's a couple of stocks here. The first one is Mineral Resources, which, as we know, Mr. Chris Ellison made a little bit of a boo-boo there, and the stock was actually falling anyway for a long time before that, $70. It just got accelerated this last move, and it went right down to about $17, $16. So that's a massive move down, and not one that I really want to sit through. It's gone on for about 2 years. Not a happy thing. I would much rather have my money somewhere else. So that's how I operate, really. I don't want to hold these stocks through these things. I want to get out, and I want to move my money into something else that's actually going up, because that's all I look for, stocks that are going up. And in this instance, we finally have a move here. We have what I classify as one of my trend reversal patterns. Okay, it comes down, the low highs, lower lows are reversed to high highs and high lows. It's gone through a resistance point. It's broken the average, broken a downtrend line. All the things that I need, and we've also got some massive volume which has supported this rally here. So the volume starts off here as the buyers come to meet the sellers, and then as the price starts to rise, we see these buyers starting to chase this price higher, and then momentum turns positive, and all things start to get going. And so that's what we're seeing with Mineral Resources at the moment. It looks like it's in the early stages, can't guarantee it, but it looks like it's in the early stages of a massive move. It's a very good stock. It's vertically integrated. It's got all those things we wanted to see. It just suffered a little bit for a while, and perhaps got a little bit overpriced, perhaps up here about $80. Anyway, Mineral Resources is an exciting stock, I think. Unfortunately, it doesn't pay any yield like a lot of these metal stocks, but that's just the way it is. But it's looking fantastic. It's just had its reversal. The volume's great, and the momentum's good. And I guess this volume also sort of underpins any downside risk there for Mineral Resources, because we know that there's volume here. We know that there's buyers interested down there below about $20, and I know it's 39 now, but it is rising. So any correction back there is probably going to be well supported. But for the moment, it's rising, and it looks pretty good to me. Okay, so that's Mineral Resources. Trend intensity rating is 10. Regis Resources, which we've looked at quite a lot, just been following this one. We followed it right from the breakdown here at around $2.30 a long time ago, which was October 24, so about a year ago. And it's now at nearly $6. So it's had a huge rally. Huge percentage increase. We followed this for the most part all the way through. We've got this big trend here. We were stopped out in this part here. The market came down, fair enough. We get out, we conserve our capital, lock in our profit, and now we've got a new high again, pushing into this all-time resistance here, this all-time high up around $6, which is a significant point we're reaching, but we've got some good volume here, pushing this price, and it's positive momentum's come back. So it's also switched a little bit. It had a good run there. Momentum went out of it. It came out. We got out. It's come back, made new highs again. So we've gone with it again. Volume's picked up. Momentum's picked up. So again, we've got resistance here, but the trend is the most important thing. High highs and high lows, which means I remain with the trend. My only real thing is, where is my stop going? Because that will protect against any pullback off that high. It may well resist that high. It may well come back. We may have seen the high. I don't know. So I'm just sitting in here at the moment waiting to see what will happen. And as I say, my stop is set. And if you want to see where those stops are set, you go to the Trading Centre, where they're reviewed every week and they're changed, updated every week for you, so you can very easily follow them. So Regis Resources for the moment is still a hold. He's running on nicely, great volume, great momentum, trend intensity rating of 10. And a very interesting stock it's been over the last year. Okay, then we've got another swing higher, Capricorn Metals, which is we had a nice little rally through 84 or through most of 2024, or mid 2024 to mid 25 really. So it had a great rally there. We've been stopped out up here, preserved our capital, locked in our profit, whatever, all those sorts of things. And then we've got a new high again. We'll probably run on again, and it is running along really nicely. And again, we've got all these things here. I mean, this good volume here is now being squeezed down a little by this even better volume here. Momentum's better than it was before. So this is really quite a powerful move we're seeing. And again, percentage gain from an entry point of around about, or from the break point of around about $11, it's already $13.50 or $13.30, so that's pretty good percentage gain. And again, all these stocks, a trend intensity rating of 10 means they're all green light. They're above the average, volume is good, momentum is good. So these are the waves you've got to catch if you can. You don't need to buy all these stocks, one or two of them will do. Okay, you just got to make sure that's where your money is. And in a 5-stock portfolio, which is our best performer, you'll find that there'll be a couple of metal stocks in there, which means the returns are being very good in our portfolio. And you can see the portfolio charts, the returns on the homepage, and see what they've done. And the stratosphere has been reached the last year or so with a lot of these moves, and this market's been so strong. And you have to be involved in it and stay involved in it while it's moving like this. Okay, so that's Capricorn Metals and most of those metal stocks I wanted to show you. And I did mention to you Iluka Resources, which is another one a bit like Mineral Resources. This one is in the early stages of a move. We've got the highs up here around RTEP around $12. We've got the low down here at around $3, and we're now up around $6.40. Okay, and we've had this switch zone here below, breaks the trend line, breaks the moving average. Then we get a confirmed trend reversal point up here, which I've identified, and now we've run with this one. And again, you can see the great volume, the great momentum. It's above the average. Trend intensity rating is 10. In the early stages, like Mineral Resources, you'll find with that good volume there, it will put. We've probably seen the low. Even a pullback should be well supported, unless something changes significantly. But for the moment, Iluka Resources looks like it's in the early stages of its uptrend. Remember, we have an uptrend, we have an accumulation phase, and then we have an uptrend. So we have a downtrend, an accumulation phase, and then we have the uptrend phase, which is what we're now in now. So where it will take us, I don't know. It may be one or two tries. We may have a couple of trades in there. I don't really know. But this is now on the up, and it's an exciting stock. Looking like a good mover, and it's just starting. So that's Iluka Resources. So that's most of the stocks I want to go through there for you. You see those leaders: Evolution, Newmont, Sandfire, Lynas, Mineral Resources. Then we've got the smaller one outside the top 100: Regis Resources, Capricorn, Iluka, and one other little one I'm going to show you, which is actually even outside all the 160 that I cover. That's the little one for you, which I like to add in every now and then. And it's a very, very simple looking chart. And it's the simplicity of what I do is sort of, I guess, the attraction for most people, because it is actually quite a simple thing, and we're not pondering over lots of different fundamentals and all sorts of things. We've just got a few simple techniques to help us buy a stock or to when to enter a stock. So with Metals X, you can see here it's had a trading range between about 74 cents and 24 cents, and we've had a nice little uptrend of higher highs, higher lows, which has been pushing to this new high here. Again, and all of a sudden we're starting to get a move above this high. It's a new high, which is one you can buy. We all of a sudden see the demand starting to grow, momentum's picking up, it's above the average. It looks exciting. Again, work with your stock. Looks like a really interesting stock to me, and we just don't know where this metals market's going to take us, and they tend to take us a lot further than we ever think. But we just have to be careful, because it's never a guarantee. But an exciting time at the moment, and the trade plan I use is getting me to enter all these stocks and run them with my stop losses. So it's important, and again, it's a fairly simple procedure. Metals X looks like a bit of a goer. Okay, so I just want to have a couple of words. That's all the stocks I've got for you today, so you can just see what that metals market's doing and how exciting it is. really for us. But what I just want to talk to you a little bit about is how we approach this and why we approach it. Now you probably see there on those charts there, whether it's Newmont, Mineral Resources, Luca, Capricorn, they're all different shapes and sizes, okay? So trends are all different, so we don't want to get too close to it. We want to look at the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is the common denominator of high highs and high lows. It's one of the best filters I know in this market when I'm trading. If stock is in high highs and high lows, I'm on it, and if it's not, I'm off it. It's almost as simple as that. Okay, so that's why I'm just saying to you again, you can look at some of those stocks and say yes, no, but really step back. Is it high highs and high lows? Yes, if it is, go. If it's not, don't go. So it's really a bit like that a bit. So as we saw some of those corrections there in evolution and a couple of the other ones there, we did see an actual new low being made, which meant it was reversed from high highs and high lows to lower highs and lower lows. And that potentially could lead to a downtrend. It didn't. The stocks turned around and made new highs again. And that's the way it is. But we always protect, and we're always on trends. So because we're able to protect, we always are able to re-enter a new high, which means we're always on any trend that moves in any of the stocks that we cover. I cover 160. You probably don't want to cover that many. You probably want to just cover a few stocks because you can't buy them all. But I'm a commercial entity, so I've got to cover all those stocks. Okay, but for yourselves, just cover 20 or 30 stocks and a cross-section, and you will be fine and you'll do very well. Okay, so another little tip there in the metals thing is watch your stop. It is a volatile, dangerous sector, so sometimes it's an idea to maybe halve your exposure and widen your stop. Okay, halve your exposure, double the size of your stop potentially, or you can do it a different way, different percentage way. But I'm just saying to you, sometimes the 15% stop is a little bit close for some of these stocks. And if you're prepared to halve your exposure a bit, which means your risk goes down, and widen your stop, then you can still play the game and be fairly safe. Okay, that's a little bit of a tip about just trading these metals markets, so you've got to be very, very careful with how they behave. Okay, so that's the metals. The metals mania is going on at the moment. Stocks are moving higher. Stock market's going to be higher again today. There's lots of things happening in the world. Every week's a different week. I love getting up every day because it's always different, and that's why I love the stock market. So hopefully you can learn to get on the right side of these stocks. It's just a matter of being sensible and being careful and not trying to overcomplicate things too much. Okay, so my newsletter was out on Tuesday, slightly new format, a bit more condensed, a bit more focused on stocks, not so much sectors, but just stocks that I think are looking interesting. So try and get a look at that if you can. I still have my radars round, just talking about things that are realities of the stock market and perhaps the non-realities of the stock market that people look at. So look at that, and I also have a little stock alert, one of those ones that are outside the 160, just a bit of fun for everybody to have a look at a little stock that's outside there. So that's what I've got for today. As I said before, catching the wave when it occurs is the key to trend trading to maximise your returns, okay? So don't be afraid to go with it, just manage it with your stop, and when the wave goes out, okay? When the wave starts to come out and your stop is hit, you must get out, because that's what the rules are, okay? So it is a matter of doing rather than pondering in this game. Don't worry too much about things that aren't part of your trade plan, just focus on what your signals are, and your plan is set, so follow it, okay? All right, that's all I've got for today. Hope you have a good week. Watch your trends, heed your stops, keep it simple, have fun, stay safe, and I will see you all again next week. Thanks very much.